Almost ready to say welcome home, sailor. Hello. Wait,
Yes, you would.
by the way, we Malcolm tweeted, launch it for the Legion, help Ukraine and America, heading home from war for a new book tour the 12th through the 20th of July. And you're going to be in a bunch of cities, including here in L.A., to talk about Trump's war on America. Let's be number one New York Times bestseller and help sell 10,000 by July 12th. Help now by pre-ordering yours today.
Yes.
So please, they want to kill Americans, could not be more prescient. Malcolm, so yeah, I cannot wait to get you home. I know this was you are in the midst of it in Ukraine.
Yeah, I'm in Kyiv right now. I've left the part of the front line where I was stationed, and let's just say it was dynamic all the time.
Hey.
But I'm glad to be back, and I'm glad to be coming home at least for a few weeks, so that we could do just exactly what we're doing. Which I put out a tweet today. It's time for me to turn my attention back to my own country. Things are not great back there. And, my book is unfortunately prescient.
Yeah.
Where it's not about what happened on January 6th, even though it goes over that and talks about the conspiracies between the players, which were patently obvious. It's about what's coming next. And what's coming next could become a lot darker than what we're seeing now, including the mass shootings by Trump supporters, people openly talking about civil war. And it's important that we all pay attention to this and know just what you can do about it. How can you protect yourself? What can the community do?
Well, you retweeted Bishop Talbert Swan, who just said an armed Trump supporter, white supremacist murderer who executed 7 people and injured 24 on the 4th of July was gently handled and arrested by police, but they hunted and slaughtered a black man with 90 bullets for an alleged traffic violation. I mean,
Good God.
This was not a good July 4th weekend for the United States of America, Malcolm.
No, and I watched that video, and my first thought was they all wanted to fire, and they've got this mindset that every bullet in their gun must be fired. And when you have 90 bullets, look, that's 4 guns pumping out, 6 guns pumping out 30 rounds. That's 2 full magazines each, and that's the one that hit them. I mean, this is insane. We don't even have gun battles here that have that level of intensity sometimes.
Yeah.
With fully automatic rifles, yes. But good God, every one of those cops need to be fired and charged with, at a minimum, manslaughter. What is it with them that it's all about now engaging what they think is the enemy? This comes from that book on killing by, this former Army colonel who is going around and training cops in how to engage in the warrior mindset and to kill the way that they do in the armed forces. This is absolutely ludicrous. And I talk about this in the book, how this warrior mindset is corrupting American law enforcement to the point where they're executioners.
Well,
and I
Malcolm,
love cops. I train cops.
Yeah, and Malcolm,
God, this is overwhelming.
I don't know if you had heard the story this morning we just did, that that a cop
No.
had the Uvalde shooter in his sights on his way into the building, and he said he didn't think he had permission to shoot. He was waiting for permission, and I'm like, yeah, these cops didn't need permission to pump 90 bullets into an unarmed black man. And Malcolm, maybe you can answer the question Jody and I were asking earlier. Do I not get it? Why do police get to shoot at a fleeing suspect? They know who it is. They have the car in most cases. Why are they even allowed to shoot at someone fleeing?
That's jurisdictional authority. And apparently in this one, they didn't care. The officers were trained again in this warrior mindset. And their whole, believe it, the contradiction to Uvalde, which was don't get officers hurt, to the point where you'll let 19 children die.
Yeah.
As opposed to this one, don't let an unarmed man get away. You know what? Let him get away. That's a job for the U.S. Marshals. That's a job for the Fugitive Task Force. And they'll get him in bed without a shot. For something that, they said that I understood that. They were saying, we got a shot from the vehicle. You are not judge, jury, and executioner. Right. And there needs to be an entire department of, I don't know, is the Department of Justice awake this week? Because they were kind of sleepy. But there needs to be a Department of Justice investigation of that force. and if necessary, dissolve the force, rebuild it.
I said earlier, a black lady's going to have to do everything. I mean, obviously, Fani Willis saying, like, yes, it is not out of the question indicting Trump. Hopefully Letitia James. I mean, and here we go again with the same, what is this? Trump is insisting both of his phone calls to Georgia perfect, which of course he did in all caps, so you know it's true.
Yeah.
But, Maggie Haberman reporting, I mean, he's really nervous, as he should be, in particular about Georgia. But yeah, I sure hope the Justice Department is going to do something. I don't know. By the way, I thought of you, the two FBI directors fired by Trump each faced a 1 in 31,000 chance of being audited by the IRS, and yet they were. Malcolm, what's the thing about coincidence that you say?
Oh my God, Nance's law, y'all. It takes a lot of planning. Coincidence takes a lot of planning. And everything that I'm seeing back in the state, all of these insane coincidences that led to a ridiculous, deep conspiracy to overthrow the government of the United States. This is not a joke. Okay, this is not a game anymore. These people now believe, based on the fact that the Justice Department moves so slowly and indictments take a long time, they believe that their power made them immune to the laws of the United States. And when they're arrested, they indicted or charged, they feel opprobrium. They feel offended that they have to be treated like normal, blue-collar white people and poor black people. And that needs to be emphasized more in the United States. And, I write extensively in the book, and you really need to read this. I mean, that book scares me, and I wrote it, and I do not like what I wrote. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
It's one of the few books where I go, okay, dang it, I really wish I didn't have to tell people this. But the color of the skin of these people is their camouflage. It's what allowed them to close on the Capitol and allows them to walk away from laws and feel offended when laws have to be applied to them. And you need to arm yourself with this. It's intelligence about what happened. I predicted QAnon would completely overwhelm the Republican Party in a year. Absolutely right. Almost to the day. Yeah.
Do you feel like Pat Cipollone testifying tomorrow could be, I think, it could be a turning point. Don't know what's going to happen, but, as we keep saying, and our legal experts keep saying, there is a crime fraud, exemption that no claims of privilege should apply.
Sure. I think all of this will be exciting and interesting. And I'm sorry, I'm in the Don Winslow school. I don't think it'll matter a bit. So long as that 33% of the American public do not care at all what those people could do. They could murder people. They could rape people. They don't care, because now this has become tribal and cultist. And their tribe leader, their cult leader, I write extensively about this in the book. And you read, and people say, well, you're just selling your book. No, you need to understand there is a very different mindset going on out here. It's beyond cultism. It's tribal warfare. Yeah. And they want to unleash the spears on their enemies. And that's why they don't care what their tribal leader does. He could go out and decapitate people, and they wouldn't care one bit.
The good news, Malcolm, is, I don't think they saw how much, the interest that these hearings would get. Everyone's like, oh, no one will watch, no one cares. 60% of the American people think Trump should be convicted. 60% are watching. Mm-hmm. And so I think, again, I get it that we're not back in the Watergate, but we also have social media now, and people are seeing the clips, and they're seeing them on a million different outlets, and, it clearly is moving the needle for the public. You're right. It's just we wait to see, does it move the needle at the Justice Department?
1 second. What's going to move the needle? And there's only one thing that's going to move the needle in this country. Not just indictments, right? But a Justice Department and a series of laws that will prove that they want these individuals to be held to account. Yeah. That is the only thing that is going.
Malcolm, I have to say. The reason.
He's going through a bad cell.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Hold these people to account.
There we go.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
absolutely. Malcolm, can I just say the reason to read your book is that if you have read all of your books, I saved this tweet for you. Dash Dabrowski tweets, wow, Russian state TV anchors just admitted they installed Donald Trump as president in 2016. They were debating on air as to whether or not they should install him again in 2024. There you have it, folks. Donald John Trump colluded with Russia. I mean, you're the first out there saying this, right? And and like you kept saying, the fact that he obstructed so much in that instance, nothing happened. We cut to Ukraine. We cut to January 6th, and here we are. Right? Here we are with your latest book.
A moment.
Uh-oh.
Hello?
Malcolm?
Malcolm?
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear.
He said. Hold on.
Yes, sorry about that.
He said, hold on. So
You there for a minute.
You being in Ukraine does
repeat
not
the
make me
question?
feel better about this, but okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
It does not make you feel better. You shouldn't feel better.
Yes.
I
Any-
said,
go
well,
ahead.
could you repeat the question?
No,
Because
just
you
I was
sort of
saying
broke
somebody
up there.
tweeted about, we know that this has happened before, but about them openly discussing on RT, on Russian television, installing Trump in 2016. And should they again in 2024, and all of the things your first books were
Yes.
about. Right. That he, Donald.
Yeah, I wrote all of this in The Plot to Destroy Democracy.
Right.
I wrote all of it in Plot to Destroy Democracy, and now we have this follow-on.
Yeah.
This is a deadly serious time for America. Deadly. And, we need to get this book to #1.
Yes, we do.
Do not
You
make
get
Malcolm.
there, and the title, They Want to Kill Americans, will now face it.
Yeah. Do not make Malcolm write a next book entitled
Go ahead, Steph.
What did I tell you? I will be July
Yes,
21st.
that's
I will be at Malcolm's book launch event with him here in Los Angeles.
What?
Yeah, so please go get the book. Let's get this to #1. Malcolm, stay safe, honey. Come home soon, okay? Oh, boy.
All right, on my way.
Okay,
Yay!
Fair, what did you say? Fair winds, following seas.
Exactly.
Something. Okay. Some Navy thing.
Yeah.
Okay. 47. That's like not your normal, just someone's in, on Beverly Glen.
No.
That's,
No, I'm going to a canyon.
he's in Kyiv.
Yeah.
That's not someone avoiding me like normal.
No.